Hi, I'm Jiwan, researcher at the University of Washington, leading the social media research project. I'll onboard you with the study through the three videos I'll be sharing. Before I dive into our study procedure and the app features, I'd first like to talk about the motivation behind this research and who I am. I'm a PhD student at the University of Washington, and I research designs to make social technologies better at supporting meaningful social connections. I personally had great experiences over social media, especially because a lot of my friends live overseas. And even when I lived in Korea, I had great experiences getting to know my friends over social media. So while I'm aware of the problems that social media platforms have, I also see a lot of potential in them. And that's why I do the research that I do, so that social media can reach its potential. You can read more about my research using this QR code that leads to my research website if you're interested in learning more about it. Nowadays, we see policies calling for social media restrictions all over the world, from outright banning of minors to requiring parental consent for minors to use social media. And the common narrative associated with this is that social media is the cause of the mental illness epidemic, and that this generation who grew up with social media is anxious and destroyed. But when I conducted interviews with teens and youth participants, many of them didn't seem to agree with this narrative. They shared that social media isn't just Instagram. They talked about how they've experienced glimpses of efforts to make social media better on Be Real. They've made remote friends who share niche interests and sometimes even romantic relationships through Discord, especially during COVID. They also envisioned that if they were students at Hogwarts and had all the magical powers in the world, they'd imagine a kind of social media that's 3D, sort of like Animal Crossing, Sims, or Stardew Valley, where they could share things by decorating their own house, hang out with close friends in the neighborhood, just coexist in a nice space, relax listening to lo-fi music, and walk around the neighborhood together. They felt that if social media were like that, even if they spent more time on it, they'd feel like they're actually connecting with their friends, making that time feel a lot more meaningful than wasted. So, in essence, what I've learned from these interview participants is that it's not about wanting less social media time, it's about making the time count. This study is an effort toward that vision. We've gathered insights from many of our past studies to create a new platform, and we're trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.